For the last decade, it feels like every time a new car is announced, it's somehow like wider and heavier than the last one. We've been living in this era of automotive bloat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit ridiculous, honestly.
You practically need a harbor pilot to park an SUV at the grocery store these days. So, okay, let's unpack this because today we are looking at the ultimate antidote to that bloat.
The 2026 Smart Number 2.
Exactly. Our mission today is to explore the return of the iconic urban microcar with the newly revealed Smart Number 2, and then, examine how we actually measure the reliability of these heavily tech-dependent vehicles.
Mhm.
We're pulling from recent industry releases plus 2026 reliability data from J.D. Power, Consumer Reports, and OCU.
And this car really is an absolute reversal of everything the industry has been doing lately. Smart had been drifting into producing, well, larger electric crossovers.
Right, the bigger SUVs.
Yeah, but the number 2 brings them right back to their roots.
Yeah.
It's a return to that classic ForTwo philosophy.
And when we say microcar, we really mean it. The physical footprint on this thing is wild. It's just 2.75 meters long and weighs only 11,130 kilograms.
Which is incredibly light for an EV, by the way.
Yeah, totally. And to put that in perspective for you, it has a turning circle of 6.95 meters. That is actually tighter than a classic London black cab.
Wow, yeah. And instead of 2 separate seats, they went with a space-saving bench seat just to maximize that tiny interior.
That's so clever.
It is. And that strategic shift is very deliberate. You have Mercedes-Benz handling the design and Geely engineering a bespoke, compact architecture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're taking direct aim at urban European markets,
Yeah.
like Italy, where those original petrol smart cars were just massive cultural phenomenons.
Because they could effortlessly navigate those narrow historic streets, right?
Exactly.
But looking at it, it feels less like a traditional car and more like a wearable gadget. Like it's a smartwatch you can actually ride inside. It's designed to slip into the tiniest gaps in the city.
That is the perfect way to look at it. The engineering challenge isn't just making it small, it's making it really dense with modern features.
Right, and here's where it gets super interesting. They've packed a 30 kilowatt-hour LFP battery and an 80 horsepower motor into this, and they kept the expected price under 22,500 euros, or about 22,000 pounds.
Going with an LFP, a lithium-iron-phosphate battery, is a very smart move here.
Because they're cheaper?
Yeah, they are heavier than standard lithium-ion, sure, but significantly cheaper to produce. And crucially, they are far less prone to catching fire, which is a huge deal for a dense city car.
That makes a lot of sense.
What's fascinating here is how rapidly Smart is iterating their technology.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at their larger crossover, the Smart Number 1, they just upgraded it to an 800-volt architecture for hyper-fast charging.
Oh, wow.
Right, but the Number 2 is leaning into a different kind of utility. It has sub-20-minute fast charging, plus this vehicle-to-load capability.
Meaning you can plug external devices directly into the car's battery. I love the tech, but I have to push back a bit on that battery size. With competitors offering massive ranges, isn't a 186-mile battery a huge limitation? Like, doesn't that restrict the car to being just a city toy?
I mean, it sounds limiting on paper, but we have to separate range anxiety from daily reality. For the target demographic urban drivers in dense cities, 186 miles is massive.
Really?
Yeah. If you're rarely leaving the city limits, that easily covers a week of commuting with plenty of margin. You're basically plugging it in once a week.
Fair enough. But treating this car like a tech-dense gadget introduces a totally different problem. We have that 2026 reliability data from J.D. Power, Consumer Reports, and Europe's OCU.
The reliability rankings, right?
Yeah, and the consensus is that Lexus universally dominates these rankings by sticking to tried-and-true mechanical engineering. Meanwhile, gas-powered cars are currently averaging 198 problems per 100 vehicles.
Good.
But EVs are averaging 237.
So given that EVs struggle with these numbers, what does this all mean? Are the electric motors just failing? Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's rarely the hardware. The electric motors and batteries are actually incredibly robust.
So what's driving the spike in problems?
It's heavily driven by software and infotainment issues. Modern EVs use centralized computing architectures. You have one massive brain trying to control the infotainment, battery management, smartphone connectivity, and the climate control all at once.
Wait, so it's essentially a giant rolling computer network.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And just like any complex software, it's vulnerable to bugs. A flawed over-the-air update could just freeze your climate controls, or mess with the charging handshake.
Which completely redefines what a breakdown actually means today.
Exactly. A buggy software update can be just as paralyzing as a flat tire.
Which makes me wonder about the smart number two. If the main appeal of this microcar is that it's a highly connected, tech-heavy gadget, shouldn't buyers be wary that its advanced tech might actually be its biggest liability?
I think this raises an important question for the entire industry. The vehicles that succeed in the next decade won't just be the ones with the best battery chemistry.
Right.
They will be the ones that can write the most stable code. Mastering the software stack is now just as critical as mastering the suspension.
That is a stark reality check. If you're looking into these next-generation microcars, you're buying into a software ecosystem just as much as a chassis.
You really are.
Well, we hope this deep dive helped you learn more about the smart number two and gave you a clearer picture of where modern city driving and reliability is really heading. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us today. We truly appreciate it.
And before you go, consider this. If millions of hyper-maneuverable microcars like the Smart Number 2 are parked on our streets and they all have that vehicle-to-load technology, could these tiny batteries eventually be linked together through software to serve as a decentralized mobile power grid for our crowded cities?